the TEAL of Two Lessons, an Antoine and Megan Rose production. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. There was a divide between language and understanding. In secret, two types of lesson were developed. One for the very young, and one for the still young but slightly older. One lesson was fruity. One lesson was spaghetti. The first was themed on Handa's surprise. In the story, Handa wants to surprise her friend Akeo with 7 fruits, but to see which one he will prefer. But along the way, the fruits are stolen one by one by cheeky animals. Side note, Handa is unaware of this deception, but then a goat knocks and a tangerine tree, and they all fall into Handa's basket. Side note, Handa is unaware of this deception, but then a goat knocks a tangerine tree and they all fall into Handa's basket. So it fills up the basket with tangerines, and everyone is surprised, including Handa. And guess what? Our guy's favorite fruit is a tangerine. Wild times. For my lesson, as they'd been reread this story the whole week, I went through the story one more time and then used the Tales toolkit, utilizing the symbols, which they are all aware of, but still I would show them the card for character and then ask them, what's this for? And then we would then go through the book and point at the different characters. They would come up and each choose a different character. And so they would point to, say, zebra, and then if they knew the word name for the zebra, then they would say it, but then we would all kind of say it as a class as well, and I would repeat it back to them. We then did the same for setting, solution, and problem. I think this added visual aid of utilizing the book instead of just asking the question was really helpful and beneficial for EAL lesson. The next part of the lesson was to pretend and have plastic animals of, say, a monkey, an elephant, zebra, and others. And it would be like, oh, this cheeky monkey has stolen the orange. But I wouldn't say the orange, I would get them to say, oh, the cheeky monkey has stolen something. Which fruit has he stolen? And then it'd be like, for orange. And then they would all say it as a group. And then I would choose certain students to also do it. And then we would just go through all of the fruits and doing the same thing with a different animal. And I felt that worked really well because it was a visual representation of the fruit in front of them, and they had got to know both the animals and the fruit throughout the week through taste testing. Personally, I felt that the lesson went really well, and maybe that's just because I'm used to the students and used to the setting, and I kind of found it just well, I feel that EYFS really plays itself well to EAL. Now we must talk about spaghetti. This message is to Rose, so just pause each time you come up with, I know, I wrote this, I'm not really sure, but slides that you want to come up and talk to about.